If you focus on the dots on my forehead for 20 seconds, then look at a white surface, you'll see me appear in colors. Pause the video and try it. Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. Today we are talking Doodle, we are talking ink, we are talking rotring, and we are talking optical illusions. Also, while editing this 2 hour and 30 minutes long footage, I found out that watching the entire page unfold is very satisfying, due to the fact that I almost draw it like a printer. If you want to see what it's like in under a minute, wait until the end of the video for a bonus sequence. What I want to draw today is sort of an optical illusion if you think about it. I want to give 3-dimensionality to the doodle. Basically, I'm making a lot of lines in one direction, but there are bumps along the way. This drawing is revealing a hidden topology, like a topological map for example. For the sake of not backing myself into a corner and suddenly being unable to continue some lines, I did draw random blobs in pencil beforehand on the page of the sketchbook. It is a way to visualize what the drawing will become. I don't sketch with pencil usually when I draw abstract stuff, but when I feel like I need it, I don't see why not. I'm not the kind of artist whose ego would stop them from using shortcuts here and there, especially for something that turned out to be a 2 hours and 30 minutes process. I'd rather sketch first and not waste my time in ink making mistakes after 2 hours. This drawing is very satisfying to me for a few reasons. The first one is because of the process. I am simply drawing line after line in the same fashion. It is a very mindless process, I don't have to think much about it. That, in and of itself, is kinda nice. These days I'm very tired and stressed, and this sort of ink artwork is just nice, you know? It is zen. It's like playing with a coloring book. And that's the second reason for which it's a satisfying drawing. You can't really go wrong. There are a few rules to make a good drawing like this, but apart from that, it's really stress-free. The rules are simply to follow the same line, curve it according to the bumps, to stay coherent throughout the drawing, and that's it. If the curves separate the lines from one another, as is the case a lot, just fill the gaps with more lines. On Instagram, I see a lot of people doing drawing like this with a robot. Like a robot arm drawing the pattern following a computer program. That's the same, except my wrist and fingers make it instead of a robot. Because of that, the lines are very shaky. I also can't really draw continuous lines across the whole page, so sometimes the connections between two segments is a bit off. Two lines next to each other will touch eventually because I can't keep them straight like a machine would. That makes it so much more organic and alive to me. And since all those tiny quote-unquote mistakes are bound to happen, I can make the most of it and use it to my advantage. If the lines separate, I can fill the gaps with random lines that would be coming out of nowhere. I can also space the lines how I want to make the page lighter at the top and darker at the bottom. I can really darken the corners of the bumps to give even more 3D to the doodle. This type of drawing is just a playground. You can't go wrong, you don't have to think, just enjoy. And take breaks. It really is a killer for the wrist, so take frequent breaks, alright? Don't hurt yourself. Now, I tease talking about optical illusions. It's very fitting because wouldn't you agree this drawing is one? It makes you see things that are not there. I'm not certain of the definition of an optical illusion, you'll have to remind me down in the comments. Like and subscribe while we're at it, by the way. This drawing turns a 2-dimensional process and makes it 3-dimensional. In a way, all drawings do, but this sort of ink doodle, it becomes obvious. Your brain can't ignore the bumps, but in fact, it's just splotches of ink on a flat piece of paper. I'm pretty sure this has to do with dimensions and projectors, and the only way we can represent them. You see, we live in a 3D world. I'm pretty sure everybody is alright with that. Since that's the case, the only way we can represent things is on a 2D surface, so one dimension below. I mean, we can sculpt things of course, but then we only have a 3D surface, not a volume. If you take a sculpture, you can't have the inside of it and the outside. Same for drawing, which is often a 2D representation of a 3D thing. You can't draw a cube and see the back of it, unless it's transparent, and still there are limitations. This is exactly why we can't imagine a 4-dimensional space. We are limited to the 3 dimensions that we know and live through. So what we can establish is that we are limited in representation to one dimension above the media we are using. Let's think about it in lower dimensions. 0 dimension is just a dot. It has no size because there's no size to be defined. 1 dimension is a line. It only goes one orientations, but there are 2 directions, forward and back. 2 dimensions is a plane, and now it can go in 4 directions. For example, in a 2D platformer game, a wall is just a line. For a 3D game, a wall is a plane. For 4D, a wall would be a volume, which is insane to imagine. Why was I talking about it again? Oh yeah, optical illusions. Well, that's the process by which you can trick your brain into thinking something is one dimension above what it really is. Or the opposite too, I guess. One of my favorite illusions is when you have a 2D thing drawn on a 3D volume, and you can only see it from the right point of view when everything aligns perfectly. So I guess my whole thought analysis of dimensions and stuff is kinda wrong because I just found the opposite example. Meh, why do I care? It's just a drawing. Let's get to the B-rolls. I hope you enjoyed this drawing as much as I did. You can show your appreciation by liking the video and leaving a comment. I know you already know that, but it's good to be reminded sometimes. You can also subscribe so that you get a notification whenever I upload good content, which is hopefully twice a week. Check out more of my art on Instagram and Twitter. My handles are on screen and there are direct links in the description, so it's really easy to follow me. And now, allow me to show you the same drawing you just watched, but all in under a minute. It is too satisfying to miss, I had to include it. Enjoy!